And so, we have finally reached the end of the first part of Gundam Unicorn 96. I have not seen the Gundam Unicorn OVA. I can tell that this series was adapted from an OVA because of how few things happen in each episode, and overall I didn't quite get what this anime was about most of the time. However, is that necessarily a bad thing, guys? So in episode 11 of Gundam Unicorn 96, we get a relationship development between Banaji and the captain of the bad guys. Banaji and the captain are going through the desert for some reason. Then they open up to each other about how terrible this war is that they're fighting in, and Banaji is taken on board the crew by the captain. So yeah, lots of talking in episode 11, but the last act of this episode is action. Lots of action. These bad guy mecha suits suddenly appear and attack a military base, and the military get their asses handed to them, and it's not entirely clear to me as to why all that action happened. Was it something to do with them getting to the next coordinates for the box signal or something like that? Why couldn't the bad guys just have done all that quietly without killing loads of innocent people? Anyway, episode 11 ends with the beginning of the final battle for this series. Then in episode 12, holy shit, wasn't episode 12 just fucking dramatic? The mecha battle continues in the city and all the bad guys are getting wiped out by this other Gundam frame that randomly appears, but most of this episode centers around a long and psychological battle between Banaji and Loni. Loni is piloting that huge red mobile suit and she's killing loads of innocent people for some reason. Banaji wants her to stop, but the conflict is that Banaji doesn't want to kill Loni because he's Banaji, yet Loni has gone crazy and the only real way to stop her is to kill her. What a conflict! I'm surprised it actually worked because Loni and Banaji only had a very short conversation in the previous episode, so they don't know each other that well, so technically there's little build-up to their argument in this episode, yet it had weight. In the end, it's Riddy who takes Banaji's gun and shoots Loni dead. So much for Banaji turning into a super badass, ruthless mecha pilot by the end of this part of this anime. My goodness, Banaji hasn't really changed at all, has he? Banaji is still a kind-hearted person thrown into an ill-hearted war. And then a black unicorn mecha appears. Oh shit! So yeah, episode 11 was dialogue heavy, so it's a good thing I have okay amounts of patience when it comes to watching things like that. The action in episode 12 was really good, but more importantly, the emotional strength in episode 12 was pretty well executed. I felt for the characters, damn it, and all that good drama made the final episode feel like a final episode for this series. Compare this episode to episode 24 of Asterisk War, where there was zero final episode drama. In terms of what I think about Gundam Unicorn 96 overall, I really like how cinematic this anime has been in terms of its complex story, crazy mecha battles, and it has this engrossing Gundam universe. It's definitely a winner if you are a fan of the Gundam series and haven't already watched the OVA, so you don't already know what's going to go down. I'm not a massive fan of Gundam yet, but I do appreciate how totally epic Gundam animes can be. But unlike I Am Blooded Orphans, Unicorn 96 was really confusing to me, and it's mostly because I didn't fully understand what the characters were talking about most of the time. They talk in Gundam language and in Gundam terms, which did make me turn off occasionally, and that's probably why I got lost in the plot so often. This anime isn't as mainstream as I'm Blooded Orphans, or even The Origin in my opinion, and I kind of wish Gundam Unicorn 96 was more mainstream. There's plenty of potential here for a wider audience, but I suppose a really chopped up version of a Gundam OVA was meant for Gundam fans who could understand it better than a newcomer like me, I guess. I am kind of looking forward to Series 2 of this anime, but I may need to brush up on my Gundam language in the meantime. Series 1 of Gundam Unicorn 96 gets a 3.5 stars out of 5.